Day one workout. We're gonna start with 3 rounds of jump rope to get the blood flowing, get the body warm. We're gonna do 3 rounds of shadow boxing, and then we're gonna get into a little bit of mitt work, some bag work on the heavy bag, and finish off with a little bit of strength and conditioning. So today's topic is going to be explosive and rotational work. We're gonna explain it once we get to that, and hope you guys enjoy it. Cool, let's do it. So when you're jumping rope, you want to keep a steady pace. You want your shoes to be tied. I like to tell people to focus on being on the balls of your feet. Obviously, it makes it a lot harder if you go flat-footed. You're going to lose your rhythm, your timing, and you're going to have to restart. So keep a steady pace, balls of your feet, find the rhythm, stick with it.
Still, 16 weeks I've been doing this. And I still can't. No, don't edit it. Make it real. So people see the struggle is real. This never gets easier. And if it gets easier, you're not working hard enough. You should only be getting faster and stronger, sweating more, painful. Embrace the suck. Pain lets you know you're alive, right?
We're gonna do 2 rounds with egg weights. That just adds a little bit of, obviously it's in the name, adds some weight to the shadow boxing. So when we get to the round without the egg weights, your arms are gonna feel lighter, quicker. So egg weights, check them out. I highly recommend them. I use them. I have my clients and my fighters use them. So check them out. We'll link it in the description.
And if you don't have egg weights, we all suggest you get some. But if you don't, you can use super light dumbbells for this, right?
Typically, anything that's like 1 pound, 2 pounds, and keep it relatively light. You don't want to go too heavy and injure your shoulders, throwing it or anything like that. So it's very important that when you're shadow boxing, you try to be defensive minded, offensive minded, always bringing your hands back to your face, turning your hands over, turning your punches over, extending your punches. I'm a firm believer that your shadow boxing is an extension of your fighting. You're gonna fight the way you shadow box, so you want to keep the intensity as realistic as possible. If you have a mirror, use the mirror. Throw the punches directly at your face. You're looking at yourself in the mirror, that's your opponent while you're shadow boxing. So you can do this if you have a mirror. If you don't, and you're doing a workout outside, use your shadow, hence the name, shadow boxing.
I never knew that. I didn't think about that. Stupid. Sweet.
It's very important that when you are shadow boxing or you're punching or you're fighting, you're conscious of your breathing. You don't want to hold your breath. Obviously, that's going to cause you to get tired a lot quicker. So when you hear or you watch boxing and you hear fighters grunting with each punch or the hissing, the that's breathing. Okay, so you want to exhale with each punch. It's short breaths in, short breaths out. So very important that you control your breathing, you're aware of it, so you don't gas out.
So second part of the workout, you guys, once we finish the warm-up, we jump into mitt work. Marco's hold mitts, and then he calls out punches, and I just try to follow along.
We're just gonna kind of flow. We're gonna flow through some combinations, emphasis on the fundamentals, making sure that he's extending his punches, keep bringing his hands back, focus on the defense. Not only that, we'll throw in a technique of the day or a combination of the day, which we'll go ahead and explain in a bit. But here we go. Jab, jab, 1, 2. Cross across, jab, 1, 2. Cross across, cross across, jab, 1, 2. Circle, uppercut across, cross, jab. Good. Hands back up, cross, 1, 2, jab. Walk me down, double jab, cross. Good. Cross roll, cross across, jab. 1, 2. Good. Extend that jab. Yep. Back to your face. 1, 2. Cross. Good. Cross across. Pivot up that way. So in this first round, you saw a lot of the fundamentals, a lot of the basics in boxing and fighting, which is, you know, the jab, the straight right. Make sure you incorporate your footwork. That is part of the fundamentals. Moving your head after your combinations, not being a sitting target. So really focus on your straight punches, footwork, and head movement.
Turning your knuckles. You want to turn your knuckles right.
Absolutely.
Turn your hips when you work. Don't cross your feet when you move.
Absolutely.
It kicks me in the leg when I do that.
You want to make sure that you always have a good base. So once you get good enough and you're able to move, you know, with crossing your feet and you know, backpedaling, that's okay. But while you're learning and you're perfecting the fundamentals, make sure you always have a good base. Your feet are always a good distance apart, not too much, not too close. Okay, you want to be well based. So with your jab, please keep in mind that even if you're not moving forward, it always helps to hit that little step. Hit that little step on your jab. Very important to also keep in mind, don't push with your jab. A lot of people try to overpower it and they'll poke their head past their knees or their toes. Keep in mind that there's an invisible shield here that is protecting you. So stay behind your invisible shield. Don't poke your head out of it just to land a shot. So you don't want to lunge with your punches and leave this leg behind. You want to think of it like fencing. Pop, step, step, and bring it back. Now with your right hand, make sure that when you throw the right hand, you hit the right hand, you're pivoting your right foot and you're turning that hip. Notice the mechanics of my knee going inward gives me that extension that I need to reach my right hand if my target is a little further than I'd like. But very important, again, step with the jab, pivot the right foot with the right hand.
Now, to follow that up, if you have a heavy bag, we're gonna just continue working, and this is what Marcos makes me do, and I'm gonna let him kind of take over. Once we do the technique on the mitts, he puts me on a bag. So why do you put me on a bag, and what's the benefit of using a heavy bag?
So the heavy bag is very important. It's a vital part of your training. It's where you can kind of let loose. You can hit at 100%. I always tell my students and my clients that you want to hit the bag with purpose. Anybody can just come in and just punch the bag. But let's apply the technique that we've been practicing. So here what Alex is going to do is he's going to work on the straight punches. He's going to work around the bag, incorporating his footwork, his head movement, and look for straight fundamental shots. Nothing fancy, nothing too crazy, but he's hitting with purpose. What I mean by hitting with purpose is you're going to hit hard. You know, you hold back a little bit in the mitts. You don't want to hurt your coach or your training partner. Now in the bag, you can kind of let it loose a little bit while still being technical. So Alex is going to go ahead and get his bag working.
And you can do this at home if you have a bag. If you don't have a bag, use a little bit maybe heavier eggs and figure out what you're doing. Again, technique, just keep in mind what you're doing with intent, right? So we said, well, what do we do this usually? 2-minute rounds?
Yeah, it depends on the day, depends on what we're working on. Boxing rounds are 3 minutes, MMA rounds are 5 minutes. But for the sake of time, obviously, and keeping the work as intense as possible, we do 2-minute rounds with shorter breaks. So, good. Come on. Good, hands up. Good, that's it. Good, incorporate forward, nice and subtle, nice and smooth. Good. That's it. Good, come on. Good, hand back to your face. Good. That's it. Good job. Good. Give me 4 straight. Go. Feet. 4 straight. Good. Move. Keep the right hand. Good. That's it. Good. And time.
So do that for what? 4 rounds. 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds. Set a clock. 2 minutes on. 30-second break?
20-second break.
20-second break.
20-second breaks for these.
You do that for 4 rounds, and then we're done with this. We're gonna work day 1, almost done. We got our rotational work coming up.
All right, day 1, guys. We're done with the shadow boxing, pad work, and the bag work. So now we're gonna move into a little bit of strength and conditioning. Today's strength and conditioning is gonna be rotational explosive work. So we're gonna do each movement for 20 seconds, and you're gonna break for 20 seconds as well. So first movement, 20-second break. Second movement, 20-second break. Third movement, 20-second break. You're gonna do this for 5 rounds. So you're gonna go through these workouts 5 times. All right, so the first one is a core turns with a 25-pound plate. Ready? And go. Good, fast, fast, fast. Both ways, both ways, both ways. Yes.
Anything to pay attention to while they're doing this?
So definitely you want to keep that core nice and tight. Make sure you're flexing your abs while you're doing this, okay? This is going to help increase your punching power. And time. All right, let's go. So next movement, so you're going to bring it down to the hip. Turn the knee, explode towards the center. Down to the side, explode towards the center. Ready?
If you don't, I'll give you guys a variation on this. If you don't have a landmine at home, you can do this with a dumbbell or a kettlebell or a weighted ball or anything weight. Just turn, I'll press, turn, I'll press, turn. Okay? Same
Second movement, landmine rotations. Again, the emphasis is on the core. Okay, so he's gonna flex his core and his abs the whole time. Again, this is to help help your explosive power, your rotational power. So here it is.
Double hand.
Yep, double hand.
Okay.
Stretch the arm out. And bring it to the hip. Go. Explode towards the center. Good. There you go. Keep that core nice and tight. And time. Good job. So you're gonna do 20 seconds each side.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're gonna do wall hits with the 8-pound sandball here. He is going to focus on being explosive and the power. He wants to get this ball to bounce back to him. So he has to throw it pretty hard because there is no bounce in these balls, okay? So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. Power, 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 good. Good, focus is on the obliques and the abs again. So he's flexing his core the whole time. And switch.
Right into it?
Yep, right into it. And time.
6 rounds, 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off to finish all your work for day 1. You can run this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll be back next week, Sunday, and you'll be able to see another whole routine to follow Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thanks for joining us. Marcos, thank you. And we'll be back next week.
Hybrid when I'm out.
Hybrid when I'm out.